All right. Hi, everybody. So, today we are going to talk about digital citizenship. We're going to do the Your Rings of Responsibility lesson from Common Sense Education. After that, we're going to read The Boss Baby by Marla Frazee. Um, after you're finished watching the video, remember to go on Google Classroom and fill out a participation form. That is how you get credit for library participation this week. A quick announcement: find your library books. Yay! To return them when you pick up your things next week. So next week, you'll be going into the school. Well, not into the school, but next week you'll be getting your belongings from the school. Um, Teachers have cleaned out desks. Whatever library books they have found in your desk or in the classroom, they have brought to the library. So if your book is at school, it will eventually make its way to the library. If your book is at home, you can start your scavenger hunt for your library books and see if you can find them and bring them to the school. There will be something over there for you to put them in, or they will collect them for you next week. Remember, it's a library. You can tell it's a library book because it will have a call number on the spine, and it will have a barcode that we use to scan. And it will also say Assawamsett Elementary School stamped inside if it's not on the barcode. All right, so digital citizenship. We're going to be doing this for the next few weeks, so our lessons are going to build on one another. So this is taken from Common Sense Education. This is talking about the rings of responsibility. So what we're going to discuss today is how do good digital citizens take responsibility for themselves, their communities, and their world. So what we're going to do is we are going to look at your responsibilities when you're online, responsibilities when you're in person, face to face. Then we're going to describe the rings of responsibility as a way to think about how our behavior affects ourselves and others. And then we'll identify examples of online responsibilities that we have to other people. So, a responsibility is a duty that you have to yourself or to others. So we're going to watch the video Rings of Responsibility, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it.
Imagine if you threw an empty plastic bottle on your bedroom floor. Now, what if it's a bunch of bottles and they spill into the street and eventually end up in the ocean? Your action would have a ripple effect. It would affect you, your community, and even the world. And just like what we do in person, what we do online has a huge impact. What we say online, what we share online, and what we create online doesn't just affect our lives, but the lives of our families, friends, community, and people all around the world. That's why it's so important to think before we act. Use the rings of responsibility as your guide. Always be responsible to yourself, to your community, and to your world.
All right, so our question is, how could throwing a bottle out of your window be similar to something you do online? So I'm going to give you a minute a second to think about it. So, littering is similar to doing something online because they both show how your actions affect not only you, but also your community and your world. If you throw a piece of paper, you throw trash out your window, it affects you. It affects your community because now your community is going by looking at the trash, and then it affects your world because you're littering. So everything, it's a ring of responsibility. It affects your actions. What you do online affects people, and just like what you do in person affects people. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the rings of responsibilities. So this right here, this middle one, it says self. So the center ring represents responsibilities that you have to yourself, like keeping yourself safe and healthy. The second one, the green one, is the community. So the middle ring stands for responsibilities you have to your community, including the people you know and interact with on a regular basis. They can include friends and family, but it can also include people you don't know well, but that you still interact with, like when you go to the grocery store, or a friend in an online gaming community, like when you play on your Xbox or Roblox. And then the last ring is the world, and it stands for your responsibilities that you have to the larger world. And this could be people you don't know, but your actions might affect. So, what are some responsibilities that you have to yourself? Well, you eat healthy food to keep your body healthy. You keep your bedroom clean. You don't watch too much TV before bed. That's taking care of you. What are responsibilities you have to your community? What are some things you can do? Well, an example would be I help my neighbors with yard work. If you have an elderly neighbor and it's snowing, maybe you go over and you help them shovel. You follow the rules, like using the crosswalk. When you're on your bike, you follow the rules. You stop at the stop sign. And then what responsibilities do you have to your world? Well, some of those would be I don't litter. I don't say mean things online. These are all responsibilities that we have to the world. And you may not actually know that person in the world, but we still have to be kind. So, we've talked about being a digital citizen before in library, but a digital citizen is someone who uses technology responsibly to learn, create, and participate. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about these rings of responsibilities again, and we're going to decide which ring best fits the following statements. So, I'm going to pause in between reading each one and give you a minute to kind of think which one you think the answer is. So the first one, I only use apps and websites that are okay for someone my age. Which ring of responsibility best fits that? Yep, the self. If you said self, you got it right. I never share things about my friends or family they wouldn't want people to know. Which ring of responsibility would that fall into? I never share things about my friends or family they wouldn't want people to know. Yep, if you said community, that's right. It's community. I do not post or share information online if I'm not sure that it's true. Which ring of responsibility would fit that? Yeah, if you said world, you're right. Because remember, the world is, it includes people that you don't know that your actions might affect. So if you post or share information, if you say that um, ice cream never melts and you're not sure if that's true or not, but you write it, somebody else in the world could see that and think that it's real and that it's true. Okay, the last one, it's a little tricky, is I treat others with respect in person and online. So, which ring or rings of responsibility would that be if you treat them with respect in person or online? If you said both community and world, you're right. Because when you treat people with respect in person, that's in your community. And when you're in your community, it includes people that you know and interact with on a regular basis. So that's people that you know. And then when you treat others with respect online, it's people in the world because it's not necessarily people that you know, but with the world, it includes people that you don't know, and you don't know who your actions might affect. All right, so that's all we're going to do with the rings of responsibility today. Next time, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about being a good digital citizen, but just know that your actions that you do in person and online have a ripple effect and will affect more than just you. It affects your community and the world that we live in. So now we're going to switch gears and we're going to read our story, which is really funny. I think you'll like it. It's called The Boss Baby as Himself by Marla Frazee. Here we go. Oh my gosh, isn't he funny? From the moment the baby arrived, it was obvious that he was the boss. He put mom and dad on a round the clock schedule with no time off. And then he set up his office right smack dab in the middle of the house. He made demands, many, many demands, and he was quite particular. If things weren't done to his immediate satisfaction, he had a fit. He conducted meetings, lots and lots and lots of meetings, many in the middle of the night. The funky thing was, he never ever said a single word that made any sense at all. But that didn't stop him. As boss, he was entitled to plenty of perks. There was the lounge, the spa, and the executive gym. There were drinks made to order 24/7, and of course, the private jet. Then, one day, all activity ground to a halt. The boss surveyed his surroundings, eyeballed his workers, and frowned. He called a meeting. His staff did not respond. He called and called and called. Nothing. The boss's usual demands were not getting their results. It was time to try something completely out of the box. Mama, Dada. Wow, that worked. For the first time since his arrival, the boss baby was pleased, but only momentarily. He had to get back to the office ASAP. There was still a business to run here, and make no mistake, he was the boss of it. Is there a boss baby in your life? There was a lot of boss babies in my life, but now they grew up. And so now they're boss teenagers. So I'm sure everybody can relate to maybe having a boss baby in your life, or a boss puppy, or a boss pet, or something like that. Anyways, all right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Remember to stay safe online, be responsible, and be a good digital citizen. Look for your library books and put them in a safe place so you can return them to school next week when your family goes to pick up your belongings. And don't forget to fill out the library participation form on Google Classroom. All right, bye guys. See you next time.